Deadwax. What's up, all you Lizzie McGuires? Welcome to the Deadwax Show. My name is Chris, also known as Chicken and Waffles Forever, and I am joined by my big brother Brent, also known as Vinyl Stooge. Brent, how are you?
I'm doing good, Chris. That's it, everybody. Welcome to Deadwax with Waffles and The Stooge. We got a great episode for you guys
Waffles
today.
and The Stooge. Exactly.
I just like to throw that in there. That's like my catchphrase. Like yours is get out of the groove. I don't want to ruin it, but you know.
No, let's give our catchphrases right now. Are you guys ready? Here we go. Get out of the groove and get into the Deadwax.
With Waffles and The Stooge. Oh, Waffles and The Stooge. I can point at you.
There we go. Yeah. See, guys, we're killing the game.
Wait. There we go. Do it, Chris. Wait.
I can't figure out how to do it because you're backwards. I'm so dumb.
For everyone listening on the podcast right now.
Let's do it.
What are they even doing?
Everybody listening, we're trying to do a thing with our hands. It looks like a circle. It's not even a heart or anything.
But we look like we're physically and maybe even a little, mentally challenged.
We're challenged for sure. This is not going well. But hey, we're gonna get into it. Everybody, it was just Thanksgiving, and let me tell you, both the Stooge and the Waffles are very thankful for all two of you that listen. We are so thankful for you as our friends and as our fans and as our supporters.
Very much, yes. I'll tell you
when we finally obtain the Infinity Stones, the two of you will be spared. Congratulations. Yes. Congratulations. We thank you. Yeah. Today, we are making sure our episode is a little bit short since it is just Brent and myself. So we're going to be talking about a pretty popular topic in records and record keeping. Brent, we have a game prepared for today.
We do have a game prepared for today.
Excellent. And then we'll have a little Q&A. So that'll be today's episode is what we're planning. If any natural disasters occur mid-episode, we will continue regardless, because that's how dedicated we are to the Deadwax Show. Yeah, yep. Totally.
100%.
All righty. Brent, before we kick it off to our main topic, is there anything you want to talk about or bring up?
Yes, I want to talk about Feline Aids. It's the number one killer of cats, and I just want to make sure everyone is aware of this pandemic that's sweeping our feline population. Just make sure that, if you have a cat, teach it, give it a whistle, make sure, keep it indoors, and just watch out for that stuff. It's no joke. So,
yeah, thank you. I think the 2019 movie Cats was what started Feline Aids. I actually watched that whole thing just to say I watched it. It was terrible. And I loved it. It was so bad. It was so bad. And for everybody watching this, I want everyone listening to know this. You think Taylor Swift is perfect? You think she's unstoppable? Watch Cats. She's in Cats. It's so bad. So there we go. That's all.
Thanks,
I just wanted
Chris.
to say it. Just wanted to say
again.
Goodbye to our two viewers.
Well, thanks for bringing down the wrath of the Swifties on us again, Chris.
Of course. We have to bring her up every episode.
All right, let's get to the topic.
Let's get to the topic. So what we're going to be talking about for a few minutes is something that's grown a lot more, I guess, attention in the past couple of years of record collectors, especially those on Instagram and TikTok, and that is sleeves. We're not talking tattoo sleeves. We're not talking shirt sleeves. We're talking the inner and outer sleeves that you can keep your records in. Now, Brent, I want you to talk about why we're discussing sleeves today.
So, I got a story to share, but first I just want to say I don't think it's any secret that this is something that's brought up frequently in the vinyl community. Or at least I've noticed it on Instagram, TikTok. I've even made a few posts myself poking fun of the issue. But before I say anything else, the story I want to share is the first time that I invited Waffles into my house. I welcomed him in. I fed him. I bathed his feet. I slaughtered my fattest calf, and we ate like kings. And then I took him down into my dungeon, which is where I keep all my records here in this wonderful little nook corner of the house the wife has blessed me with. It's a roomy, 6x6 little space that literally doesn't have a door. Anyway, so I bring chicken and waffles down there. I'm like, wow, here's my collection, all this stuff. And then I'm like, oh, look at this record. I got to show you this pressing. So I grabbed, I can't remember which record it was, but I grabbed the record, the outer sleeve, and I pull out the record and the inner sleeve with the record, and the record was in a paper sleeve. And the look of disdain and disgust that Waffles had on his face, let me know which side of the issue he stands on. And I quickly found myself having to, I don't know what the correct word is, just calm him down, because I didn't want to pick up vomit off of my record room floor based on the amount of disgust that's on his face. But he literally looked at me, and I had to say, I said, I'll change it, because I thought he was going to leave. That's how disappointed he was. So, anyways, it was just a funny moment. And so I could go on with the story, but if we want to stay on topic, that's the gist of it. So our first record listening together, Chris and I immediately got on to the discussion of inner sleeve. So anyways, I'll go ahead and turn it back over to you, Waffles, and let you. So what we want to do here, actually, before I turn it over to you, we don't want to have we're like, oh, we should have this great inner sleeve debate. But I don't want to have a debate. I want to more have a discussion, and just kind of have a real talk about inner sleeves. And looks, my hat's crooked. And just kind of hash this out, because there's nothing more annoying on the internet or on TikTok or Instagram when you post something and you got some kind of gatekeeper like, oh, you don't wash your record, you don't wipe your record down before you play it. Oh, you keep that in a paper inner sleeve. And so we're going to go ahead and talk about this, and we're going to do it in a friendly way. And we're just going to share our points of views on the matter. So I am clearly, as you all know, if my record comes in a paper sleeve, it's staying in the paper sleeve for the most part. I acknowledge and understand the benefits that come with Chris Kenny. And I understand the benefits that come from these polyethylene inner sleeves, but I think there is a disparity between cost and benefit that is greater to me than in my situation, my circumstances, that I've decided to not invest the extra money at this time to use them. So I can get to that in a second. I'll go ahead and turn it over to Waffles, because I know he's just chomping at the bit to jump in here and tell me how stupid I am and everything. I'm just kidding, though.
You're not kidding. You're not kidding at all. You've got this ready to go. Well, let me tell you something. I'm going to do a little bit of fact and fiction about my thoughts on paper sleeves. Because here's the thing. I would love to hear your thoughts, but I'd say probably 90% of the records I get come in paper sleeves, right? I'd say about 90%, because they're very cheap, and most labels don't want to pay for a nicer insert than just a piece of paper. There is a sort of a wandering theory that paper sleeves can deteriorate the quality of vinyl, and I will be the first to say I don't think that is true whatsoever. I have been collecting records for 11 years, and I have records that have been in paper sleeves for a decade, and they sound the exact same. So it has nothing to do with actually hurting the record. However, my problem with paper sleeves and why I don't use paper sleeves is because, first off, you get stuff in your records. There's pieces of paper that are very tiny, very, very little, but they go into your record. And so you have to clean them more than you would have had to clean them before. That rhymed. Oh my gosh. Anyway, Snoop Dogg is going to be our next guest, and I think everything we have to say needs to wrap. Anyway, so that's one thing, is that paper sleeves, I think, are more maintenance than they need to be. But the reason why I upgraded after a long time is because of static. So this is just a fun science thing. If you do not collect records, but you happen to be listening to this, a lot of what we do in records is based on physics and science. That's how you go from a piece of wax into a needle making sound, right? With paper sleeves, paper against vinyl material will create static, and static changes the sound of records when it's being played and there is static going on. So if you have a record sleeve and you take the vinyl out of it, the friction against the record, oh my gosh, the friction against the record is just going to create static. So I upgraded to all of these polyethylene sleeves because they're anti-static. And so when you take a record out, there is no static on it anymore, and it's going to sound just fine. So that's my big thing. I will also say, I'm just going to throw it out there. Like Brent said, on social media with vinyl records, there has turned, I don't want to use the word elitism, but there is sort of like a elitism towards what type of inner sleeves you have. And I'm going to testify to everyone watching this. It kind of doesn't matter. So just because someone tells you one particular brand is the best kind, they're all freaking the same. So I use Hudson Hi-Fi because they're my go-to for all vinyl record accessories. Everything I have is Hudson Hi-Fi because I love them, and their stuff is always
Hudson Hi-Fi.
Hey, Hudson Hi-Fi, do you want to sponsor the Deadwax show? Like legit, if Beyonce called us, I'd be like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. If Hudson Hi-Fi contacted us, I'd lose all bodily functions. They're my favorite.
What if Taylor Swift contacted us on behalf of Hudson Hi-Fi?
I would rather just their customer service department.
Okay. Are you done with your point
that's
so
my
far?
initial thoughts on inner sleeves, but let's throw back.
Okay, so here's my I don't want to call them rebuttals, but my questions.
Oh, it's a rebuttal.
We're getting to the brass tacks. How bad is the static really? Like how much is it just like destroying your listening experience? I'm just I will not deny that maybe there is static that creates.
We're getting in such a fight right now. I'm just kidding.
Hold on. Like how the record's sitting there. Are you like shaking your records like a can of soda when you're not listening to them to create that static?
Isn't that how you get yours out?
Like what's going on to create all this static, Chris?
I think that's how you're supposed to do it. Is you take the record, you like shake and bake, you shake it, put it on your carpet, spin it around for minutes, make sure it's clean. That's how you clean it.
That's not hurt the record at all. Anyways, that's just my one point. Like I don't know if anything's. Will I deny that maybe polyethylene sleeves reduce the static? I'll believe you on that. As far as how much and is it significant or noticeable, I'm yet to be swayed on that.
Yeah. So. And I want to go back to what Brent said. These sleeves ain't cheap. They are not a cheap adventure. Like when I decided to re-sleeve my entire collection, it was a lot of money to do the inner and outer sleeves. And it's time. It takes forever.
I'm already thinking about this, and I don't know if we're going to be able to air this episode. I can already feel that people are going to be either pissed at me or pissed at you. It's like a political debate here almost.
Right.
Anyway, we love each other, and these are just opinions. There's no right or wrong. Don't be mean to each other. I'm going to continue on. So, paper that they use for these inner sleeves, most of them are acid-free. So they're designed that way to have a longer shelf life. Acid-free paper, if stored like in normal conditions, that means like if you don't leave it out in the sun or set it on fire or something, it's gonna last for 100 years. So I will acknowledge that the paper will break down. It's a long time for it to happen though, and there will be instances I've had happen too. Fresh out of the wrap, I unwrap the shrink wrap, I take the record out of the paper sleeve. Yeah, I noticed there's some little sprinklings of what seems to be like paper dust or whatever you want to call it. Like the little paper inner sleeve fairy came and went bling, and sprinkled a little dust on it. So
paper dust.
All of that's easily fixable with just not even a deep clean, just a simple swipe of a brush or whatever. What's the other type of? Whatever,
like the static wheels and everything. Yeah.
it's easily
Controller.
cleanable. And here's the thing, like for me, I've got over 500 records now. That's not a flex. I listen to maybe 5 records a week, so I'm not going in and out of my paper sleeves often to where I need to clean a whole lot. And I'm also not worried. Another complaint people have about paper inner sleeves is the potential to damage the records from taking them in and out. Like, I don't know if people are like taking them out, like,
Yeah,
I can't imagine a situation where you're like just ripping it out. Like, I
exactly.
mean, you put it in fairly, carefully and everything. So if you're being haphazard, that's your own fault. But to what extent the paper can actually scratch the record, I'm also a little like leery on. We should do an episode where we sit here and during the episode, I just have a record and I'm just scratching it with the paper inner sleeve. We'll do that next week.
I
I'll just
love
sit
it.
here
Yeah.
doing the whole episode, just scratching anyways.
It's a
Look for
torture
that hand
ASMR.
motion. It looks
Yeah.
like something worse. And then she was like, actually, like I looked this up too. The average groove thickness on a record is anywhere from 40 microns to 80 microns. And in case you're wondering how big that is, 40 microns is 0.04 millimeters. It's really, really small.
Yeah.
So any dust, it's on my phone here. The human hair goes anywhere from like 50 to like, I want to say it was like 150 thickness. Sand is about 80, and salt is around 60, a grain of salt. So like, yeah, little dust can get into there, and I will acknowledge once again that buildup of dust, excessive dust, is bad. I don't know any record collectors who are allowing their records to get that dirty without cleaning them as well.
Yeah.
So once again, I'm not going to argue that, yes, polyethylene is going to reduce static and prevent from potential damage taking in and out. And all the other points you made, yes, I will agree that technically they're better, but how much better, and is it worth the investment? Yeah. So it's, that's the two camps. Like, I'm not a millionaire, and I don't think you don't have to be a millionaire, I think, to own this thing clearly. But here's my last point, though.
Okay.
We're in a very environment conscious world now. How much, like, when the civilization eventually crumbles and mankind ceases to exist, how many more turtles are going to have to choke to death on your polyethylene inner sleeve because they're still hanging around? That's compared to my paper inner sleeve that's already died. What's the word? It starts with a D, decomposed and disintegrated. So I'm just saying that being paper inner sleeve is the environmentally sound choice as well.
He's got a great point, everybody. The reason Finding Nemo couldn't get his dad is because of me.
So
nice.
Those are just my arguments. So once again, there's no right or wrong.
No, I'll make a final thought on this as well. It is 99% preference. Like, the thing is, when you follow record collectors on the internet, it's very easy to assume that what they're doing is right, and that, like, because they've been doing it either for a while or they have a lot of followers, that they must know everything perfect. Almost everything in records is opinion, and it's based on how well you think things will work for you. And so, just like with sleeves, if you think you're doing fine with paper sleeves, you don't notice a difference in the sound, and you don't want to make the investment, then whatever. Go for it. Enjoy your collection the way you want to. I listen to records every day, and I probably listen to like 6 a day at least. And so I am constantly taking them in and out. And that's why paper sleeves are annoying to me, because I'd rather just have the polyethylene where I can hold the jacket like this and it falls right out of my hand. I don't need to spend very much time taking them out.
So one benefit that I will agree with you guys on is a lot of these polyethylene sleeves are transparent.
Yeah.
And so it is nice the way some people do like to store them with the record on the outside. You can see it without having to actually take it out. That is, in my opinion, more of a legitimate reason for them than some of the other things. But like, and sorry to cut you off, but I also say, like, I don't know if so much is to be. Like I said, I will acknowledge that polyethylene technically is better for your records. I'm not denying that. Once again, it's just how much better for how much am I paying?
Exactly.
So that's my only.
Yeah, man. Let us know. What do you guys think? What do you guys use? Let us
We're
know.
not killing each other.
And and which one of us should be bullied more? Anything else
right?
you want to add to the record sleeve debate?
And once again, I am not using polyethylene inner sleeves mainly because I don't want to pay money for it. I'm not against them. So if anyone wants to send me them, I'll gladly use them.
Hudson Hi-Fi. Hudson Hi-Fi, if you're watching this, I love everything you do, and Brent does too.
Big Fudge,
No.
whoever.
No, Hudson Hi-Fi. Here's the thing. While Brent's pulling up his next thing, this is just like because I have like OCD. I notice a difference in the texture of sleeves. And so when people send, like, I'll buy a record from a friend or whatever, and they send it to me in their polyethylene sleeve and it's in a different brand, I don't like the way it feels. So I'll just replace it with mine because I like the way those feel. If that's not Patrick Bateman level psychotic, I don't know what isn't.
All right. Well,
And that's it.
I think that's enough. That's enough time for that debate. I'm sure there's more that can be said. Hopefully someone took something away from this. And once again, don't bully each other on the internet over inner sleeves.
Yeah.
Do it over something else important, like Feline Aids or something.
Because guess what? Both Brent and I have been bullied on the internet for inner sleeves. So just don't do it. It's stupid.
All right. You ready to turn it over to the game? Game time? Sorry, my hat feels...
Your hat looks great.
Okay, here we go. So today's game, it's going to be pretty simple, hopefully. It's a game everyone's familiar with. Just 21 questions. So I've got an artist and or band, and I actually have the Wikipedia page up.
Ooh, okay.
There's some questions I don't know the answer to. You can only ask yes or no questions, okay? You can't, ask questions that are open.
Yeah.
You can't ask me like, Brent, what are the last 4 digits of your social security number? That's not allowed, okay?
I already know
yes
that.
No.
So, like, why would I even need to ask that if I already know it? Yeah.
So, in the interest of time, too, do you think we should do it like less than 21 questions? Because 21 seems like a lot. It's a little excessive.
Let's do
10.
10 okay.
Questions.
Okay, let's do 10. And that'll make it harder. That makes it more fun, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so 10 questions and go. Let's see if you can get this.
Are they still making music in the 21st century?
Yes.
Did they make music in the 20th century?
Yes.
Ooh, okay. Is this a rock band?
Yes.
Okay. Are they from America? I haven't been keeping track of my questions. I should be like holding up my
I'll do this. I think you got 4.
Yeah. Okay. Are they from America?
Yes.
Okay.
I already answered that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Last century, this century, rock band, and America.
Okay. Have you and I discussed them before?
I have no idea, dude. I can't remember.
Well, then I'm gonna say no to that because like there's a few American bands we talk about a lot. So it's not the Black Keys and the Strokes is what I'm thinking.
Honestly, if I had to guess though, I would say yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Is this band on the radio?
Sure. Like, are they popular? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like was the music ever played on the radio?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Were they especially significant in the 90s?
I mean, yeah. But like
I'm running out of questions, man. I only got 3 left. Gosh dang it. This is way harder than I thought it was gonna be. Because I feel like I have 20 questions ready to go, but not 10.
If you need more, we'll go higher. But
okay, great. Are any of the people okay? Is this band still together?
Yes.
Gosh,
still making music. They're together.
Okay.
Look at my fingers. I can't even like. Anyways, I'll just do it the German.
There you go. Okay.
Like the Germans do.
Are any of the members of this band popular in any other bands? Like, are they members of other bands that are popular? Okay.
Yes.
This is hard, bro.
You got 1 left for those listening at home.
I know, I got 1 left, and I have like 200 bands in my head of what I think it is. Okay, here's a question.
It's
Before
gonna
I
be this.
before I start to finalize,
Okay.
are all of the members of the band still alive?
Yes.
Gosh dang it. This is way harder than I thought it was gonna be.
What are some other questions? Just start throwing them out.
um uh uh are they like were they part of the grunge movement?
Kind of. Like, it depends what your definition of grunge is.
Is it Pearl Jam?
No, it is not Pearl Jam.
They fit all that criteria though.
Okay.
So you said they were like hand wavy grunge?
What, hand wavy grunge?
They're like hand wavy grunge?
But like this kind of grunge?
No, hand wavy. No, Brent.
I don't know what that is.
like that you said they're kind of grunge. Like, is that what you said, right?
Yeah, sure.
That's what
Still
hand
around.
wavy means. Like, you know, like,
I would classify them more as rock alternative rock than I would so much grunge. However, this will be a big hint. Do you want a hint?
Yes, I would love a hint.
One of the members of this band was a member of the biggest grunge band of all time.
Oh, is it the Foo Fighters?
Right, you got it. There you go.
I was thinking the Foo Fighters this whole time. Okay.
Then why did you say it?
Because I thought it was Pearl Jam.
I think you're gonna have to do the game next time.
Because I suck at your games, is what you're saying?
Yeah, or we have to bring Scott back on so you can beat him or something.
Shut up. I like this is why this is detrimental for my awful mental health, is because I play these games. I'm like, oh, I know a lot about music, and then we play it, and I'm like, I've never listened to the Beatles, apparently. Ugh.
I figured the Foo Fighters would be somewhat easier. So
I kept thinking it was for the first chunk. I thought it was going to be like Nirvana, and then I was like, okay, if they're not still playing alive, it's not, or not still playing together, it's not Nirvana. So then in my mind, I was like, it's either Pearl Jam or like Oasis, something like that like transitioned from the 90s to the
from America.
But that's why I asked if they're from America. Freaking Brent, calm down.
Freaking Waffles.
Okay. That was
your wave grunge, whatever that is
hand wave grunge.
Hand wave grunge.
Can we do like hand wavy? Do you know what I mean? Like, you know when something's like, "How you doing?" You know what I mean? Like it's okay, fine. We're gonna go to our Q&A portion now.
Let's do it.
Are we gonna go to it? I don't know.
Questions.
Okay.
Let the fans ask some questions now.
There you go. So we have got a few questions. We actually got a bunch of questions. Thank you everybody who submitted them, but we're gonna get to them. We're gonna answer 3 questions today. The first one comes from our buddy Dan on Instagram and TikTok. He asked,
the man.
Dan is so awesome. Which cartoon character would have the best record collection?
That's an easy question. It is Homer Simpson, without a doubt. I don't know if you recall, I think it's an episode for maybe even season 1, where Homer has to give up drinking for a month, part of the criminal sentence that he had. And he recalls the time he had his very first beer. And he got it with a fake ID. I think his name was like something McGee. And he stayed up listening to Queen when he was 17.
See?
So he's got Queen. That's a boss freaking. That's a Springsteen reference, but it's a pretty cool record collection. But I love Homer Simpson. He's my favorite cartoon character ever. So
nice.
Homer Simpson. Final answer.
Homer Simpson. Do you remember the show Daria in the 90s?
Yes, I do.
I think Daria's record collection would be my dream come true. Like, she's depressed, she's angsty and gothy. Her records would probably be off the chain. In fact, there's an episode of Daria where they're at like a swap meet, and her friend Jane are looking through records, and she holds up the Velvet Underground's infamous record with Nico. And man, if Daria was a real person, I fully recognize everyone that she is a cartoon character from over 30 years ago. Not like 30 years ago-ish, but I'm in love with her. And so if Daria was real, I would date her and marry her, and we would listen to Six Sad World together. So Daria is my answer. Man, they should have the Daria theme song on vinyl. Do you remember the Daria theme song?
I don't know.
You're standing on my neck. Yeah, Daria ruled. In fact, we should just change this podcast to be a Daria podcast.
Nope.
Okay, fine. All right, let's get to the next question. Oh my gosh, this is from our buddy Benny. By the way, shout out Benny Alexander on TikTok and Instagram. He is one of my favorite accounts. All right, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Because you might have answered this before with talking about when I came and judged you for your sleeves. But let's hear an answer again. At what point in your TikTok interactions did you two realize you had become best friends? That's a good question.
That is a good question. I'll let you answer that one first.
Okay, so we had been interacting on TikTok for a while before we actually met in person. And the first time we met, we went and got tacos together. And that was a big deal because tacos are the best food in the world. And so that
language.
Exactly. That was a great connector. Was that yeah, we both like records and we both make TikToks, whatever. But like that's like surface level stuff to me. You want to talk about food? That is the way to my heart. And so Brent was like, "Hey, do you want to go get tacos?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I freaking do." So we got tacos, and Brent was wearing a Rage Against the Machine shirt, and just that combination right there, I was like, Brent or the Stooge and I are meant to be friends forever because that is a winning combo. And also, just like I always refer to Brent as my big brother because like I had such an instant like connection with Brent that I didn't feel like I was like making a friend. I just felt like I could talk like myself without having to like do normal friendship steps with the Stooge because like it's just so easy to talk to him and we have a very similar sense of humor. So I just spit all over my laptop keyboard when I made that noise. Like I don't know if anybody wants to go back watch the video and get a slow-mo version of the spit that shot out of my mouth. It's disgusting. Anyway, that's my answer. But do you have an answer for that as well?
Mine would probably be the second time we got tacos. Because once again, one time anyone can go for tacos one time, but the fact that you stuck around for take 2 of tacos, that hit me right here.
Yeah, maybe that was just that might have just been acid.
That's probably it too. Because I think I got a quesadilla that day too, and there was a lot going on.
Dude, that place was the bomb. We've never had like a bad taco place together.
No. We even had Taco Bell too.
Yeah, that's right. I love Taco Bell. Taco Bell sponsor this show, please. Hudson Hi-Fi and Taco Bell are my two favorite companies.
So yeah, that was just I think if I didn't like you enough to want to be your friend, I don't think I would have even gone out to get tacos with you, to be honest. So I mean, I don't know an exact moment, but like it just online you seem like a sincere person, and you're a little quirky. So I was like, yeah, this would be kind of fun. So there's nothing. I shouldn't say that. Well, yeah, I can't say this. There's nothing worse than someone who's like insincere or whatever. So, anyways, and Chris, I should say Waffles before I get too personal. Sincere guy. So you see him in the bathtub with his shirt off. He's really doing it. He's not just doing that for the crap.
Dude,
really, he wakes up in the morning. He's like, I'm gonna stick freaking noodles in my mouth today. That's what I'm gonna do.
I need to take just 1 minute. I need to take just 1 minute to explain this tangent. For my past 2 Instagram posts, I've almost died. Like, so I made a post for AFI's album, The Art of Drowning, and I had this great idea where I would hold the record and I would put my face underwater in the bathtub and be like, "Ooh, I'm drowning," right? Like I've held my breath underwater before. So I was making this post. It took forever to set up. I had the camera angled right over the bathtub and I had to like push the timer. My bathtub's not very big. So I had to get on my back and like scoot my butt toward the end, put my legs up on the wall, and then I'm holding the record. And as I'm about to do it, I'm like, this is actually scary. Like, I don't want to do this. So I attempt it and I put my head under the water and so much, because my head's going backwards like this, so much water went up my nose. And so I open my eyes and the camera's still taking pictures. and I sit up and I have snot just ejecting out of my face as I'm coughing for breath. And then I made a post today that I took last night for Suicide Silence's album, The Cleansing, and this guy has like spikes shooting out of his mouth. So I was like, oh, I'll use lasagna noodles and I'll put those in my mouth. The very first time I did it, I put them in and they slipped into the back of my throat. So because I wasn't holding my teeth together tight enough. So I'm like trying to put the fake noodles in my mouth, and I end up like gagging and like almost barfing because they like shot to the back of my head. Instagram's not worth it. Anyway.
All right. Last question. We'll just move on past that.
You're responsive. All right.
How am I supposed to respond to that? You almost choked on noodles.
I almost drowned
okay, buddy.
on noodles for Instagram. Yeah. Okay, last question. This is by our friend Deadwax on Instagram. Just an album you want to get pressed on vinyl that's not already pressed.
Dude, the Apollo 13 soundtrack. I've been saying it for over a year now. We need that. That's such a great score. I want it. Make it happen. I don't know who owns the rights to that movie, but make it happen.
Yeah, so. And there's so much potential for cool artwork for the jacket for that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it's a great one. Yeah. I would also pick a soundtrack as well, and I would say the soundtrack to the movie Jennifer's Body. Jennifer's Body is a great movie, first off, but like the soundtrack is the bomb. It has like Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco and It Dies Today is on it, Jennifer's Body, and they've never put it on vinyl before. So that'd be sick.
We have to do a poll now. Like, which one do our listeners like better?
That's a great idea.
Or Jennifer's Body.
That's a great idea.
It's got to be an award-winning movie, or what's the actress's name again? Critically acclaimed.
Apollo 13. Yeah, either one.
Innovative filming techniques,
or Apollo 13. Yeah, like
what's the actress's name again? I'm forgetting it. Megan Fox. That's right.
Brent, have you ever seen Jennifer's Body?
I unfortunately have not. It's something I'm gonna have to rectify, I guess.
So I need you to take a night away from your family.
That's so easy to do.
It is an incredible movie. And Jennifer's Body is so good.
The movie or
that was funny. Good for you. Yeah, it's a killer movie. That's funny. Also, it's a killer movie because Anyway, so Apollo 13 and Jennifer's Body. We're gonna put up a poll on Instagram and see the Venn diagram of our listeners that like both. I have a feeling it's gonna be two separate circles, but
So both has to be an option too. Then.
No, it doesn't have to be. I was just curious if any of our listeners like both of those movies. So we'll put up a poll on Instagram. Which one would you rather have on the trail? Yeah.
All right. We'll do that.
Okay. Those were our questions for the day. Once again, thank you to everybody that submitted questions. We love them. Please keep them coming. We put these occasionally on our Instagram stories. So be watching for those. So you can ask your questions to Waffles and The Stooge on the Deadwax Show.
I don't think we ever used the caption. Oh, you did use yours at the beginning of the show. Get out of the groove into the Deadwax.
Do we need to do it again?
Just think about that. No, we don't need to do it again. I'm just having like a senior moment or something. Keep going, man. I think we're. Are you transitioning to closing the show right now? Because if you are, I just want to say one more thing.
Go for it.
Two more things, honestly. First thing, I don't know. I think you're probably going to mention this, but we are now in podcast format, not just on YouTube. We can be found. We have a podcast on Spotify and Apple. So I think most people use those two platforms. So I don't think we need to do anymore. But if you're like, oh, I want Stitch, put it on Stitch for me or something. So I don't know why I did that voice. to symbolize the little majority, the minority. I mean, anyways, maybe we can look into it. But yeah, so far Apple and Spotify, you can find our show there. I uploaded our first 3 episodes. This one too will be uploaded if you haven't found out about it already. So. And then the second thing I want to say before we close out, just want to thank everybody for watching and listening. I don't know, I'm just a stooge, and it means a lot that people care enough to hear what I say, or if they can find some ounce of entertainment out of this, that's great too. Maybe it's not me, maybe you're just here for Chris. Either way, thanks for Thanks for watching and for listening. I really appreciate it. I know he does too.
I want to echo that. I'm very grateful for every single one of you that's listened. We got fantastic feedback, and please keep it coming. We love hearing from our friends about what y'all think, if it's only good, about Deadwax, because it's a great thing. Oh, I just want to take 10 seconds. I had somebody ask me why we call it Deadwax, because I don't think we've explained that yet.
Oh, have we explained that yet? Yeah. So do you want me to do it, or do you want to do it?
Go for it. Go for it.
So Deadwax is the part of the vinyl on a record between when the groove ends and the center label. So there's no sound in there. There's nothing. It's useless. It's dead wax. There's nothing there. So we thought it was kind of a what's the word? It was an oxymoron. Which word am I looking for again? I'm not good with vocabulary.
Oh, but it's ironic that we're using.
It's ironic and symbolic. Maybe it's symbolic that that's useless, the Deadwax, and our show is
that's us.
Useless.
Yeah.
So it's self-deprecating, and we also thought Deadwax sounded kind of cool. So
exactly, it's pretty metal. But yeah, just to go back to that same thing. Thank you for everybody for listening, and we're really grateful for everybody that's supported us. We are pretty mind blown to how well this has gone, because it could have been a giant disaster. I mean, it is a disaster, but it could have been an even bigger disaster than it already has become. So thanks everybody.
Yep.
Any other closing thoughts before we wrap this up?
Once again, just Feline Aids. Just make sure you're watching out for that. Keep your cats indoors, especially during the winter season. Just it's a growing problem, and we got to watch out for our cats. So,
everyone, this is my villain origin story. Is this episode?
We're gonna get so much hate from the cat community.
The cat community.
It's not a joke. You better believe there's a cat.
Feline Aids is not a joke, Jim. Anyway, I wholeheartedly agree. Get your cats checked. Thank you for everybody for listening to this episode of the Deadwax Show. Once again, as my big brother Stooge said, we are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So look for Deadwax and you will find us. Our logo is right here. If you don't know it, now you do, and you will easily find it on there. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We post a lot of our content there. We'll post a lot of our questions and give heads up for when episodes are going to be up. As you can see, our Instagram handles are right here. Hopefully you can see them. Chicken and Waffles Forever and Vinyl Stooge. And please follow us there to see our record collections and to see our stupidity, because it never seems to end for either of us. And with that, please, my family and friends and my current That's So Raven enthusiasts, get out of the groove and get into the Deadwax. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for watching.